I have a dream, that's all I need. I'll make it happen with some work and belief. Know what I want, so I'll take it on. I've made mistakes, but mistakes make you strong. Let's break it down for a minute. I want the crown, I'm gon' get it. You hear me loud, man, I'm winning. Yeah, Charlie Sheen will be grinning. These ladies know that I'm sinning, and this is just the beginning. I'm closing in the night inning. There ain't no point in resisting. Living life like a dream, live it right, that's the thing. Every night got a team, I've been tied to the scene. Out on stage, here I'm screaming. Okay, it's a dream, and I pray as a team. One day it'll be me. If I want it, then I get it. Head down, don't regret it. Push myself to the limit. If I play it, then I win it. I'm just saying, I'm just living for today. For a minute, I don't stay, I just visit. Have no shame, I admit it. Looking right at me to see if I succeed, to see if I believe. They're looking up to me. They want the best of me now, best of me now, best of me now, best of me. They want the best of me now, best of me now, best of me now, best of me.
Hombre, ya estoy aquí. A ver, vamos a dejar esto y vamos a dejar que acabe la canción para quitarla luego. A ver, un segundo. ¿Qué decís? A ver, Juanra Navarro, me reconoce, me suena tu nombre, el creador de la mascota del canal. Hombre, el cactus. ¿Qué pasa? Muy buenas, un saludo. Hola, Adri. A ver, vale, vamos a hacer esto. Esto de aquí. De Stanley Parable. Captura de juego. Añadir. Pobre cactus. Sí, el cactus ha muerto ya. Ah, tengo un cactus que aún sobrevive. No es broma. Stanley. Vale. Automático no. Capturar ventana específico. Stanley Parable. Vale. Darme un segundo que se vea bien. Joder, ahora hay que encajar este también, tío. Qué rabia me da. A ver, transformar. Ajustar a pantalla. Lo metemos dentro de juegos. ¿Se ve bien ahora?
Best of me now, best of me now, best of me. They want the best of me now, best of me now, best of me now, best of me.
No se ve el juego, tío, ahora me cago. Transformar. Establecer transformación. Ahora. Estirar a pantalla. Vale, ahora, chavales, ya puedo pasar. Venga. Bueno, tenemos que pasar por cerrar. Muchas gracias por compartir. Un saludo. Que vaya bien. Pinche foto, ponga freak de suburban. Adri, eres un pesado de cojones, te lo juro, con las canciones. Tienes tu YouTube para escucharla, ¿no? Digo yo. ¿Quieres que me metan un strike o algo o qué? ¿Mongolo? Es mongolo de por sí, Ya verás tú esto, tío. Como me metan un strike te voy a meter una hostia, bueno.
Welcome to our freak show, come meet my monsters. Oh, such a fine collection of stranger things. My patience running thinner on this melting clock. Cerebrum gel.
¿Qué es esto, Adri, tío? No, ya me has hecho ponerla, ahora te jodes. Madre mía, Adri. Ya el copy me lo he comido. Venga, vamos a darle ya.
Please don't hide your imperfections. Nature took to try to make the man in white. No, I don't mind. You are a beauty, not temptation. You're my creation.
Una canción XD, ¿a qué te refieres? Hostia, luego tengo que añadir todos los directos que he hecho a la pestaña de directos. Vale. Bueno, lo quito ya, Adri. Vamos a jugar ya al Starby, que toca ya de una puta vez. Comenzar partida. La canción no tiene ni una semana. Madre mía, Adri. Me van a follar.
Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-ending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job. And Stanley was happy. And then one day, something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened, this complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest.
Que sí, que Stanley siempre trabajaba en esta habitación y siempre ejecutaba órdenes. Un día no las ejecutó y no hay nada. No entiendo. A ver, ¿qué podemos hacer? Agacharnos. ¿Cómo?
Stanley simply couldn't handle the pressure.
Opciones, audio. Bueno, vamos a reiniciar y así esto. ¿Esto qué es? Stanley Parable. Hola Ángel. Stanley Parable. He reiniciado el juego para que os enteréis. Vamos a iniciar partida. Logro desbloqueado. Bienvenido de nuevo. Vaya. A ver si os enteráis. Os lo pongo de nuevo.
This is the story of a man named Stanley. Stanley worked for a company.
Me cago en su puta madre. Mira, a tomar por culo, no hay historia. Vamos a ver ¿de qué trata? Te lo quiero mostrar. Me cago. A ver, el juego trata de que tú eres Stanley y tienes que hacer lo que no haces. Os lo pongo, ¿vale? Os lo pongo y os enteráis de lo que es. Porque es que si lo explico yo vais a parar.
Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-ending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job. And Stanley was happy.
Was happy. Era feliz.
And then one day, something very peculiar happened.
Aquí es donde viene la paranoia.
Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened. This complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
Vale, aquí ya nos está empezando a dar órdenes. Se levantó y salió fuera de la oficina. Pues no me da la gana. Yo cierro la puerta y nos quedamos aquí.
Stanley simply couldn't handle the pressure.
Ahí
What
está.
if he had to make a decision? What if a crucial outcome fell under his responsibility? He had never been trained for that. No. This
¿Habéis
couldn't go anywhere except badly.
entendido de qué va?
He thought to himself is to wait. Nothing will hurt me. Nothing will break me. In here I can be happy forever. I will be happy. Stanley waited. Hours passed. Then days. Had years gone by? He no longer
Ahora
had
no puedo
that
salir.
But the one thing he knew for sure, beyond any doubt, was that if he waited long enough, the answers would come. Eventually, someday, they would have.
¿Entendéis? El narrador me dice qué hacer, pero si yo no lo hago, hay consecuencias, por así
He will
decirlo.
be spoken to. He will be told what to do. Now it's just a little bit closer. Now it's even closer. Here it comes.
¡Vamos! ¿Ves? Y se acaba. Si no me equivoco. Ahí está. ¿Entendéis? Si no hago lo que me dice el narrador, me dirá otra historia que pasa y se acabará. ¿Vale? Si yo vuelvo a cerrar, pasará otra vez lo mismo. Pero como queremos
All of his
avanzar,
co-workers were gone. What could it mean?
pues vamos a ir
Stanley
mirando.
decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Pone que vayamos a la sala de reuniones, pero si no quiero ir...
Stanley went around touching every little thing in the office, but it didn't make a single difference. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a
¿Entendéis?
trace of his
El objetivo del
coworkers.
juego es hacer lo contrario dentro de lo que quepa a las órdenes que te dicen. Ahí está la cosa. Vale, Adri, tú lo has pillado. ¿Veis? Yo voy tocándolo todo. Uy, un papel. No me deja tocar. Ábreme la puerta. Pero bueno. Vale. Se supone que hay que ir a la sala de reuniones, pero yo os voy tocándolo todo solo por tocarle los huevos al narrador y que tenga que hablar más. Pim, 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 pim. Es un poco raro el juego, pero bueno, está bien. Es un juego que quería jugar hace ya mucho.
When Stanley came to a set of two open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Derecha e izquierda. Derecha e izquierda, chavales. Ño, ño. Francesco Virgolini. Ño. Las dejo elegir. No. Tiro derecha e izquierda, gente. Las dejo elegir. Tengo que tirar por la izquierda, pero puedo tirar por la derecha. Me gusta más la derecha.
This was
sinceramente.
not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire
Sí,
it.
es verdad, es que queremos. Caso absoluto.
Ah, yes, truly a room worth admiring. It had really been worth the detour after all, just to spend a few moments here in this immaculate, beautifully constructed room. Stanley simply stood here, drinking it all in.
Sí, la verdad es que está chulo.
But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Podríamos ir hacia la izquierda, pero... ¿y si quiero ir por aquí?
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
Penalty for misuse of cargo leave. $1000. Penalty for jumping off the cargo leave. 5000. O sea, $1000 por un mal uso de esto de aquí. Y 5000 por saltar en él. No jumpes mientras está en movimiento. Puede causar la muerte.
Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you
Vamos, aquí van ya más de 1000 pavos, 1000, 2000, 3000, 4000, 5000, 6000, 7000, 8000, 9000, 10000. Mira, 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 mira.
I'm not asking for me, I'm asking for her.
¿De qué hablas de ella? Uy, uy, uy.
Stanley, your chance to redeem yourself, to put your work aside, to let her back into your life. She's been waiting.
Vale, ¿qué hago? Tiro por aquí. Uy, 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 uy. ¡Adentro! ¡Hostia!
That's her, Stanley. You need to be the one to do this, to reach out to her. If you can truly place your faith in another, then pick up the phone.
¡Salta! Joder, Adri, tarde, tío. Viste tarde. ¿Cojo el teléfono? Dejo elegir. Cojo el teléfono o me voy por la puta puerta porque puedo. Creo que puedo. No me dejo. Pero creo que si dejo de darle, o sea, si sigo dejando que llame, puedo no cogerlo. Tío, hay mucho delay, creo. Tendría que quitarlo. Pero bueno. Sí, 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 porque cuando me has dicho salta yo ya estaba en la parte del teléfono, ¿sabes? Bueno, vamos a hacerle caso a una puta... Que no quiero cogerlo, en verdad. Venga, va. A que me hace empezar desde el... Yo me cago en la puta, ¿eh?
Oh, Stanley, is that you? Hold on, sweetie. Sorry to keep you waiting. I'm just pulling the bread out of the oven. All right. Okay, there we go. All right, now, I want you to come in and tell me all about your day.
¡Hostia!
Gotcha.
¡Qué susto!
Oh, come on. Did you actually think you had a loving wife who'd want to commit their life to you? I'm trying to make a point here, Stanley. I'm trying to get you to see something. Come inside. Let me show you what's really going on here.
Pues no me da la gana, eres un cabrón.
Sorry, but you're in my story now.
Hijo puta. Me la ha liado. Y yo, tío, que me da miedo el monigote, ¿eh? ¡Ah! Vámonos. Me quedo aquí, chavales. Venga, va, vamos para adentro. Como buenos titanes. A ver, ¿qué?
This is a very sad story about the death of a man named Stanley.
Ya estamos. No quiero.
Stanley
Venga,
is
te.
quite a boring fellow. He has a job that demands nothing of him, and every button that he pushes is a reminder of the inconsequential nature of his existence. Look at him there, pushing buttons, doing exactly what he's told to do. Now he's pushing a button. Now he's eating lunch.
Yo, pero que me está vacilando el cabrón este, el narrador, le meto una puñalada.
To work. One might even feel sorry for him, except that he's chosen this life.
Te den por culo, ahora no le voy a dar. ¿Pasa algo si no le doy? Es mi pregunta. Pero si es que me está faltando el respeto, es que mira, te metí así una puñalada. Ábreme la puerta. Os presiono, R, T, I, U, I, O, P. Y eres un niño rata, de verdad,
But in his
Tengo que darle.
in his mind he can go on fantastic adventures. From behind his desk, Stanley dreamed of wild expeditions into the unknown, fantastic discoveries of new lands. It was wonderful.
Se supone que tienes que seguir unas órdenes que no
Was
sigues.
a reminder that none of it would ever happen to him.
Que no quiero ir.
And so he began to fantasize about his own job. First, he imagined that one day while at work, he stepped up from his desk to realize that all of his co-workers, his boss,
A lo mejor no
everyone
existen,
in the
¿sabes?
building had suddenly vanished off the face of the earth. The thought excited him terribly.
A lo mejor está en coma, ¿sabes?
So he
No sé,
went
a
further.
ver.
He imagined that he came
Ahora
to
me lo
true
cuentas, Adri. A ver tú
purpose,
qué,
and
a
that
qué
he could go
conclusión has
through
llegado.
either. At last, choice. It barely even mattered what lay behind each door. The mere thought that his decisions would mean something was almost too wonderful to behold.
Vale. Si tú lo dices.
As he wandered through this fantasy world,
¡Hala! Eres un
he was
cochino.
fitted with many possible paths and
Cochino.
destinations. Down one path lay an enormous round room with monitors and mind controls. And down another was a yellow line that weaved in many directions. And down another was a game with a baby. And he called it the Stanley Parable. It was such a wonderful fantasy, and so in his head he relived it again, and then again, and again, over and over, wishing beyond hope that it would never end,
Amigo.
that he might always feel this free.
Yo no,
Surely
no
there's
creo
an
que
answer
haya
down
sentido.
some new
Más o
path,
menos entiendo.
mustn't there be? Perhaps if he played just one more time. But there is no answer. How could
Y
there
aquí
possibly
volvemos a estar otra
be? In
vez. Y esto
reality,
ya
all
era.
he's doing is pushing the same
Seguro.
buttons he always has. Nothing has changed. The longer he spends here, the
Que su
more
nombre,
invested he
en su
gets,
nombre propio
the
lo
more
dice.
he
Que era lo
forgets
que
which
hacía
life
él.
is the
Estar
real
enfrente de...
one.
Sí, claro.
And I'm trying to tell him this, that in this world he can never be anything but an observer, that as long as he remains here, he's slowly killing himself.
Hasta ahí
He
llego,
won't
Adri.
listen to me. He won't stop. Here, watch this.
Pero si
Stanley,
es que te lo
the
explica
next
la
time
historia,
school
¿sabes?
asks you to push a button, do not do it.
Pero es que aquí te puedes quedar una eternidad, ¿sabes lo que te digo? Vamos a esperar a ver. Miau. Este monigote es un cochino, tío. Mira la que me ha liado el cerdo. Es un asqueroso, ¿eh? No le vamos a dar. A ver qué pasa. Creo que no pasa nada, pero bueno. Vamos a dejar de pulsar teclas. Pero... sin o sea, pulsándolas. Aquí creo que se llega a un punto en el cual tienes que hacerlo sí o sí, creo. No lo sé. ¿Tú qué piensas, Adri? Ponía que no le diese. Así que no sé qué hacer. Yo sigo órdenes. Vamos a darle.
You see?
Vale, 0.
Can he just not hear me? How can I tell him in a way that he'll understand that every second he remains here, he's electing to kill himself? How can I get him to see
Vuelves a
what
lo
I
mismo.
see? How can I make him look at himself?
Es que no me deja otra,
Of course I
¿sabes?
can't, not in the way I want him to. But I don't make the rules. I simply play to my intended purpose, the same as Stanley. We're not so different, I suppose. I'll try once more to convey all this to him.
Venga, va. Vamos a hacerle caso.
I must. Perhaps, well, maybe this time he'll see. Maybe this time. And I tried
Vaya,
again.
muchas cosas que decir y decidir. La verdad que sí.
And I tried again. And Stanley pushed a button. And I
¿Cómo? Que ha muerto. Chavales, F, ¿eh? F me parece a mí, ¿eh? Sí. F en el chat. Venga, va.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Va a hacerle caso al señor.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Va a hacerle caso, ¿eh? No.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
Va a hacerle caso porque es la manera de continuar la historia, por así decirlo.
Coming
Y
to
cada
a
vez...
staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Más fácil. Ah, amigo, esto ya me lo conozco. Esto es aquí. Ah, no, esta es Executive. Creo que es esta aquí, ¿no? O esta. Espera, es esta. Esto se parece a lo de los Simpsons,
Staring into
¿sabes?
his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life.
Ya, tío, qué guapo, ¿eh?
Unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this, what dark secret was being held from him. What he could not have known was that the keypad behind the boss's desk guarded the terrible truth that his boss had
Chavales, el
hidden
número.
from him. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number, 284. 4, 5. But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known this. Yet incredibly, by simply pushing random buttons on the keypad, Stanley happened to input the correct code.
Elige lo contrario ahora, después a todo lo que te diga. ¿Por qué, Adri?
By sheer luck. Amazing. He
Bueno,
stepped
ahora
into the
mismo.
newly opened passageway.
Es que hay cosas que no me deja hacer, ¿sabes? Uy, uy, que entro, que entro, no. No hay nada más aquí, ¿no? O sea, ¿escucháis? Cada vez que le doy al clic suenan teclas. Bueno, vamos a hacerle caso. Bajamos aquí. Uf, es que creo que no queda otra. Vamos a bajar, va. Voy a intentar seguir la historia. Es que ya a mí me gusta hacer lo contrario. Pero bueno. Para mí no me va a decir a mí un tío lo que tengo que hacer. Es que le doy la opinión.
Descending deeper into the building, Stanley realized he felt a bit peculiar. It was a stirring of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself, to question the nature of his job. Why did he feel this now, when for years it had never occurred to him? This question would not go unanswered for long.
Y esto da miedo, ¿eh?
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility. Although this passageway had the word escape written on it, the truth was that at the end of this hall, Stanley would meet his violent death.
¿Seguimos? Madre mía, tío, la diferencia que hay. O sea, estoy viendo el directo. Madre mía, tú. ¿Por dónde estáis viendo? A ver, ¿hemos llegado? Sí, vale, estáis ahora mismo en el pasillo. ¿Sigo, Adri, hacia adelante? Yo seguiría hacia adelante, o sea... Bueno, a ver, ¿qué te da igual saber lo que mueve? ¿Sabes? O sea... Me da igual, realmente. Es jodido, lo de este juego. Es que creo que hay que volver a empezar desde el principio si hacemos
The
esto.
door behind him was not shut. Stanley still had every opportunity to turn around and get back on track.
Me está tentando, Ya te digo, o sea, literal. Podemos aún tirar para atrás. Venga, va, os dejo elegir. Seguimos para allá o volvemos. Tío, yo quiero ver lo de la muerte en serio, Me tienta, venga, va, vamos a tirar para atrás. Reduce el delay, no puedo reducirlo. Es el mínimo que hay de YouTube. Pero, a ver, dame un segundo. Configuración. Stream. Avanzado. Retardo de stream. Adiós. 10 segundos. ¿Dónde? No te flipes que tampoco quiero más. Hecho. No voy a cortar, pero esto para la siguiente. Es que creo que están puesto 30 segundos. No es cosa mía. Venga, tiramos para atrás. No creo que ahora se actualice. Es que si tiro para atrás y esto, se cierra el directo y no puedo volver a hacer, ¿sabes? Al menos en YouTube.
Stanley thought better of it and realized...
Lo he puesto en 10. Cierro directo y vuelvo a hacerlo. Es que no sé si reconectará. Es la cosa. No, seguiré. O sea, lo seguiré porque no sé si se reconecta y si no se reconecta, o sea, incluso pierdo de esto, ¿sabes?
He
No.
simply had too much to live for.
Venga, va, vamos a seguir.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out?
Pues la verdad es que sí.
Now,
O sea, yo odio lo del delay, de
their
verdad.
true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers, the lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing. This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly?
Venga, va.
No, he refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control.
A mí me parece que lo controlen los Sims, ¿sabes?
Wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world?
Pues a lo mejor sí, y te han estado
Here
engañando,
was the
tío.
proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy or sad or content. Walking, eating, working. All of it monitored and commanded from this very place.
Los Sims,
And as the
tío.
cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he would dismantle the controls once and for all.
Vale. Yo pulso otro. Ah, amigo. Dale. No me deja, chavales. Venga, vamos a hacer lo que pone.
And when at last he found the source of the room's power, he knew
Tengo miedo.
blackness and a rising chill of uncertainty. Was it over? Yes. He had won.
¡Vamos!
He had
Hemos
defeated the
ganado.
machine, unshackled himself from someone else's command. Freedom was mere moments away. And yet, even as the immense door slowly opened, Stanley reflected on how many puzzles still lay unsolved. Where had his co-workers gone? How had he been freed from the machine's grasp? What other mysteries did this strange building hold?
¿Qué pasa?
But as sunlight streamed into the
Vale,
chamber,
vale, es más
he
cuerdo.
realized
Esto, o
none
sea,
of
si
this
lo
mattered
sigues,
to him.
creo que te
For
vas
it was
rápidamente,
not
pero
the
si
job
le
that
empiezas
he
a
had
hacer
been seeking.
cosas que no le
But
gustan a la máquina,
happiness, perhaps
creo
his
que empiezas
goal
a
had not
descubrir
been to
todo esto. O sea,
understand,
esta es la paradoja,
but to
por así
live.
decirlo.
No longer would anyone tell him where to go, what to do, or how to feel. Whatever
Ya sabes
life he
qué, a
lives,
tomar por
it
culo.
will
Vamos.
be his.
Vamos a
It was
escapar.
all he needed.
Creo, si no me
It was
equivoco, porque
perhaps
algo me sonaba
the
de este
only
juego,
thing
tío.
worth knowing. Stanley stepped through the open door. Stanley felt the cool breeze upon his skin.
Brisa, es
The
brisa,
feeling of
chico.
liberation,
De verdad.
the immense possibility of the new path before him. This was exactly the way, right now, that things were meant to happen. And Stanley was happy.
Pues somos felices, chavales, nos hemos pasado el juego. Ya está. Este es el juego, literalmente. Pero, podemos contradecir. O sea, este es el juego que ya te lo pasas, pero puedes seguir. ¿Sabes? Es la paradoja del juego este.
But
Mierda.
Stanley simply couldn't.
Vamos a comenzar. Y si quieres descubrir, pues tienes que ir haciendo cosas.
Stanley knew the office layout like the back of his hand. It was only a matter of time before he found the others, wherever they were. Just a matter of time. Stanley came to a set of 2 open... This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first,
Vamos a ver qué
just
se
to
puede hacer,
admire
¿vale?
it. Wow, yes, this room. What? But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left. And so he detoured through the maintenance section, walked straight ahead to the opposite door, and got back on track.
Vamos a ver qué hay por aquí. Vamos a tomar distintos caminos. Me parece que este...
But Stanley didn't want to go back to the office. He wanted to wander about and get even further off track. So now in order to get back, he needed to go, from here it's, oh, no, it's to the right, my mistake.
Sea cabrón.
No, not the right. Why would I have ever said it was to the right? What was I thinking? It's clearly... Oh dear, would you hold on for a minute, please?
Estoy troleando.
Now, let's see, we went down right, left, down, left, right. Yep, okay, yes. I've got it now. This story is absolutely, definitely this way.
Vale, pues no podemos tomar otro camino ahora. No. Y damos por aquí. Por acá, por acá.
No. This isn't right at all. You're not supposed to be here yet. This is all a spoiler. Quick, Stanley, close your eyes. Okay. We just have to get back to, oh, who am I kidding? It's all rubbish now. The whole story is unusable. How about, rather than waste my time trying to salvage this nonsense, we'll just restart the game from the beginning. And this time, suppose we don't wander so far off.
Adri, ¿qué te parece?
From the top.
¡Hijo puta! Me la he liado. Vale, volvemos otra
All
vez.
his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
No sé, me apetece cerrar las puertas, sinceramente.
When Stanley... Wait. No, I restarted. I swear, I definitely restarted the game over.
Ahí está, esto es lo que yo quería.
Oh, did something change? Stanley, did you change anything when we were back in that room with all the monitors? Did you move the story somewhere or... Hold on. Why am I asking you? I'm the one who wrote the story. It was right here just a minute ago. I know for sure that it's here somewhere.
Ahí estás.
It's an adventure. Come, Stanley. Let's find the story.
Venga, buscamos por aquí. Esto ya lía, ¿eh? A ver qué hay por aquí. Creo que hemos vuelto, ¿verdad? Y yo, tío, ¡oh, la paranoia! Aquí es donde empieza la buena paranoia. Y aquí vuelve, si no me equivoco.
I'll say it. This is the worst adventure I've ever been on. I can promise you there definitely was a story here before. Do we need to restart the game again? Well, I find it unlikely that we'll ever progress by starting over and over again, but it's got to be better than this. Okay, let's give it a shot. Why not?
¡Qué hijo de puta! Me la he liado ahora. Venga, va. Volvemos otra vez,
All of
chaval.
his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Ahora no hay puertas.
Okay, yep, it's worse. I might be remembering this wrong.
Ahora no hay
It's
puertas.
possible the story is back where we just came from. Why don't we go back the other direction and see if we missed anything?
Venga, va. Adri ha muerto, por lo que veo. No. Hay que volver. Ahora todo esto habrá cambiado, seguramente.
Aha! I knew we'd missed something. The story. Here it comes. No, wait, never mind. Not the story. Okay, let's head back the other way and retrace our steps. Now this... Well, I'll be honest, I don't recognize this place at all. Is this the story? I don't think so. I can't quite recall, but I believe my story took place in an office building. Is that correct?
Ah, vale, Adri, yo qué sé.
Understand me?
Mira, la he liado, la he liado. Le he
Since
vuelto
I've
loco.
completely forgotten what we were supposed to be doing, how about this? You win! Congratulations!
No.
I know you put in a lot of hard work, and it really paid off, so good job. Oh, no. No, I don't feel right about this at all. We both know you didn't put in any actual work for that win. Some people win fair and square, and this was not one of those situations. Okay? I'm getting weirded out by whatever this place is. I don't care what might happen this time. I have to restart. All right, I've got a solution. This time, to make sure we don't get lost, I've employed the help of the Stanley Parable Adventure Line.
Mira, ahora ya
Just
es
follow the
otra
line.
línea.
How simple is that?
Vale, vale, ¿veis? Esto ya no está. Ahora está cambiando todo. Esta es la paranoia del juego, ¿sabéis? Que empieza a cambiarlo todo. Pero bueno.
You see, the line knows where the story is. It's over in this direction. Onward, Stanley, to destiny. Though, here's a thought. Wouldn't wherever we end up be our destination, even if there's no story there? Or to put it another way, is the story of no destination still a story? Simply by the act of moving forward, are we implying a journey such that a
Mira, ahora
destination
son
is
muchas más
inevitably
escaleras. Ya no es
by
hasta
the
el
very
principio, ¿veis?
manifestation of the nature of life itself? Whoa, 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 whoa. Hang on. That got a bit weird back
Bueno,
there.
vamos a seguir la
I'd
línea.
like to apologize. Not sure where I was going with all that.
Ah,
I think what we need right now is a bit of music to lighten the mood.
esto sí que da miedo, ¿eh? Mierda, por aquí, por aquí. Me he perdido. Ah, vale. Pam, 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 pam. Está todo guapo, ¿eh? El juego. Me lo salto, me lo salto.
Wait, cut the music, go back and look at that fern. Wait, what? We're back in the office? No, no, no. Line, you do know we're looking for the Stanley Parable, right? The story is... Oh, no, 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 not
Y otra vez
Line,
hemos llegado
you've
aquí.
done this to us, and after we trusted you, after everything we've been through, you... Well, I can't take this anymore. To hell with it. Restart.
A ver qué dice ahora.
You
Creo
know
que...
what, Stanley? I say forget the adventure line. What's it ever done for us? We're intelligent people, right? Why can't we make up our own story? Something exciting, daring, mysterious. Ooh, this all sounds perfectly doable. Why don't we simply start wandering in, well, I don't know. How about this direction?
Yo no quiero esa dirección, quiero esta. Adri, ¿sigues ahí o has muerto?
Now, yes, this is exciting. Just me and Stanley forging a new path, a new story. Well, it could be anything.
Pero será
What
cabrón,
do
pero
you
sí.
want our story to be? Go wild. Use your imagination. Whatever it might be, Stanley, I'm ready for it.
Estamos dando una vuelta tremenda de cojones, ¿eh?
Oh, no, not you again. Stanley, I'd also like to veto the line from having any role in our awesome new story. No lines or monitor rooms. Just don't acknowledge
¿Qué os
it.
parece el
Should
juego?
be fine.
¿Os mola o no?
Ah, a choice. We get to make a decision. From here, the
Pero
story
yo
is
lo
in
que tío,
our
pero no
control.
mucho que nada hace nada,
How
¿vale?
important we mustn't squander the
Vale, chavales,
opportunity.
os voy a dejar aquí
I
el vídeo.
believe I need a minute to think here. just walk in circles for a minute.
Venga, va.
Okay, so I know that each door has to lead somewhere, which means that somewhere the place where we're trying to go.
¿Qué creéis?
Must be a
¿Derecha o
reverse
izquierda?
door
Si me abre las
over
dos.
here. And that in turn means that our destination corresponds with the counter-inverted reverse door's origin. So starting
Madre
from the
mía, el de
right,
esto que le está
let
dando.
us ask, will taking the right door lead us to where we're going? And since the answer is
Esto es la
yes,
paranoia.
then by all accounts, the door on the right is the correct one. Another victory for logic. Come, Stanley, our destiny awaits.
Mira, mira eso.
Oh, hold up, what's this? The confusion ending. You're telling me that's what this is? It's all one giant ending? And we're supposed to restart the game, what, eight times? That's really how all this goes? It's all determined? So now
Hay que hacer que el narrador se pide.
restart again. Then what? Am I just supposed to forget? Well, what if I don't want to forget? My mind
No puedo
goes
volver
blank
atrás, Adri,
simply
creo.
because it's written here on this thing, wall. Well, who consulted me? Why don't I get to decide? Why don't I get a say in all of this? Is it really? No, it can't be. I don't want it to be. I don't want the game to keep restarting. I don't want to forget what's going on.
Me parece que se pira.
I won't restart the game. I won't do it. I won't do it. I won't do it. And the timer stopped? Does that mean, did we do it? Did we break the cycle? The, whatever it is that made this schedule? How would we even know?
¿Cuántos finales? Ya te
Will
digo.
someone come for us? Will something happen? So,
Ah, más que finales, todas las cosas que se pueden hacer.
I guess now we just wait. You know, I suppose in some way that this is a kind of story. Wouldn't you agree? I'm not quite sure if we're in the destination or the journey. Though they're always saying that life is about the journey and not the destination. So I
Esto
hope
es
that's
una
where we
paranoia
are right now.
de las
We'll
gordas.
find out, won't we? Eventually. Well, in the meantime, if you do happen to have a...
¿Cómo? Se ha reiniciado. Me parece a mí que cambió el
All his
narrador.
co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Se podían investigar unas puertas según ponían una de...
No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
Puerta abierta. Abre aquí. Open up, police.
Stanley went around touching every little thing in the office.
A ver. Vale. Un segundo, Adri. Mira, tenías razón, vídeo avanzado. A ver que no se me cierre el juego, ¿sabes? Hostia, esto tiene que ser nuevo, porque yo te digo que antes, en 2013, no estaba tan bien. Por cierto, vamos a ver que no se haya jodido. Vale.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. The lounge was sublime, a work of art. What was it about this room that called so deeply, but eager to get back to business?
Volvemos a lo mismo de antes, Adri. Yo he girado antes por la izquierda, pero he tirado por ahí. Podría tirar por aquí, ¿sabéis? Vuelvo otra vez.
But Stanley didn't want to go back to the office. He wanted to wander about and get even further off track. So now in order to get back, he needed to go, from here it's, oh, no. No, it's to the right, my mistake.
Y ahora me la vas a volver a cerrar.
No, not the right. Why
Vale,
would I
nos
have ever
esperamos.
said it was to the right? What was I thinking? It's clearly... Oh dear, would you hold on for a minute, please?
Pim, pim, pum, pim,
See,
pum.
we went down, right, left, down, left, right. Yep, okay, yes. I've got it now. This story is absolutely, definitely this way.
Creo que este es uno de los finales, creo. O sea, creo que este ya lo he hecho, así que no tengo por qué volverlo a hacer, ¿sabes?
No. This isn't right
Sí.
at all. You're not supposed to be here yet. This is all a spoiler.
Volver a comenzar. Ese ya lo hemos hecho.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Me da la sensación de que esto ha cambiado, ¿no? Esto ha cambiado.
When Stanley came to a set of two open doors, this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. Standing now in this incredible room, Stanley for the first, but eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left. Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
A tomar por culo.
But in his eagerness to prove that he is in control of the story
Para.
and no one gets to
¿Cómo
tell
que
him
pare?
what to do, Stanley leapt from the platform and plunged to his death. Good job, Stanley. Everyone thinks you are very powerful.
Buen trabajo. Vale, dime, ¿qué hago?
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room to check on his co-workers. He never functioned well by himself and constantly needed support and guidance from others. So the thought of total solitude was terrifying to him.
¿Ves? Cambia
When Stanley
todo.
came to a set of two open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Cambia todo.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office. But Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss, admitting he had left his post during work hours. He might be fired for that. And in such a
Repetir el
competitive
anterior
economy,
en vez de bajar,
why had
seguir
he
y
taken
tomar
that
la
risk?
salida de la
All
izquierda.
because he believed everyone
A ver,
had
a ver.
changed. His boss
Repetir
would
el
think he was
anterior en
crazy.
vez de bajar,
And then
seguir y
something
tomar la
occurred to Stanley.
salida de la izquierda.
Maybe,
Adri, no te
he
entiendo.
thought to himself,
Hacemos
maybe
esta y
I
me
am
dices.
crazy. All of my co-workers blinking mysteriously out of existence in a single moment for no reason at all. None of it made any logical sense. And as Stanley pondered this, he began to make other strange observations.
Sí, que estamos haciendo lo mismo.
Why couldn't he see his feet when he looked down? Why did doors
Y yo, es
close
verdad.
automatically behind him wherever he went? And for that matter, these rooms were starting to look pretty familiar. Were they simply repeating? No, Stanley said to himself, this is all too strange. This can't be real. And at last, he came to the conclusion that had been on the tip of his tongue. He just hadn't found the words for it.
Sorry, Adri, que no había pillado. Pero ahora lo hago, ¿vale?
This is all a dream. Oh, what a relief Stanley felt to have finally found an answer, an explanation. His co-workers weren't actually gone. He wasn't going to lose his job.
¿Te imaginas que realmente todo esto es un sueño?
And he thought to himself, I suppose I'll wake up soon. I'll have to go back to my boring real-life job pushing buttons. I may as well enjoy this while I'm still lucid. So, he imagined himself flying and began to gently float above the ground. Then he imagined himself soaring through space on a magical starfield, and it too appeared. It was so much fun. and Stanley marveled that he had still not woken up. How was he remaining so lucid? And then perhaps the strangest question of them all entered Stanley's head. One he was amazed he hadn't asked himself sooner. Why is there a voice in my head
Ahí
dictating
está.
everything that I'm doing and thinking? Now the voice was describing itself being considered by Stanley, who found it particularly strange. I'm dreaming about a voice describing me, thinking about how it's describing my thoughts, he thought. And while he thought it
Haremos lo que tú has dicho, Adri, y
this
para
voice spoke to all people in their dreams, the truth was that, of course, this was not a dream. How could it be? Was Stanley simply deceiving himself, believing that if he's asleep, he doesn't have to take responsibility for himself? Stanley is as awake right now as he's ever been in his life. Now, hearing the voice speak these words was quite a shock to Stanley. After all, he knew for certain, beyond a doubt,
Madre
that this
mía,
was
qué
in fact a dream.
coñazo, por
Did the
Dios.
voice not see him float and make the magical stars just a moment ago? How else would the voice explain all that? This voice was a part of himself too. Surely, if he could just... He would prove it. He would prove that he was in control, that this was a dream. So he closed his eyes gently, and he invited himself to wake up. He felt the cool weight of the blanket on his skin.
Repetir el anterior. En vez de bajar, seguir y tomar la... Vale. Te he pillado, vale. Tirar por la derecha, seguir recto, girar a la izquierda... O sea, seguir recto para no hacerle caso, o tirar por la izquierda, y en vez de bajar... Vale, lo he pillado.
Let me go back to my job.
Lo he pillado, Adri.
Let me continue pushing the buttons. Please. It's all I want. I want my apartment, and my wife, and my job. All I want is my life exactly the way it's always been. My life is normal. I am normal. Everything will be fine. I am okay.
It's gonna be okay. Pues no, seguimos aquí.
Stanley began screaming. Please, someone wake me up. My name is Stanley. I have a boss, I have an office, I am real. Please, just someone...
Alarmas, mío.
Can anyone hear my voice?
Who am I?
And everything went black.
¿Cuántos finales? Me he ido con tantos aquí de... Buah, ya te digo. O sea, esto es una paranoia.
Tienes la cena.
Mariella woke up on a day like any other. She arose, got dressed, gathered her belongings, and walked to her place of work. But on this particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body
Ojo,
of a
chavales,
man
que la
who
cena
had
ya
strolled
está.
through town talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the
¿Qué
street.
dices?
And although she would soon turn to go call for an ambulance, for just a few brief moments, she considered the strange man.
¿Qué dices?
He was
¿Esta
obviously
es la
crazy.
verdadera
This
historia?
much she knew. Everyone knows what crazy people look like. And in that moment, she thought to herself how lucky she was.
¿Qué creéis, gente?
I am sane. I am in control of my
¿Creéis que
life.
esto es real o no?
I know what is real and what isn't.
Ahora es la paranoia de que ahora él es la tía, o sea...
In a certain way, seeing this man made her feel better. But then she remembered the meeting she had scheduled for that.
Que la paranoia también está, sí, ahora chaparé.
Important people
Pero...
whose impressions of her would
quiero que
affect her
veáis.
career, and by
Esto...
extension, the rest of her life. She had no time for this, so it was only a moment that she stood there, staring down at the body.
¿Este es
And
Stanley?
then she turned and ran.
Ojo. The end is never the end. Ojo. Creo que voy a hacer por última vez lo que me ha dicho
Wait,
Adri y lo
Stanley
dejamos.
thought to himself. Am I sure that the orders stopped coming in? How is that possible? They
Esto
never
es
stopped.
es
Surely I was mistaken.
asqueroso.
When Stanley came to a set of two open, this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well.
Vamos a
Perhaps
seguir.
he
La
might have
última ya,
stopped by
¿vale?
the
Vamos a hacer
employee
caso a lo que ha
lounge
dicho
first,
Adri.
just to admire it. Stanley felt lightheaded, butterflies in his stomach, but eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left. And so he detoured through the maintenance section, walked straight ahead to the opposite door, and got back on
Y la
track.
salida de la izquierda. Pues no, Adri, está cerrado. ¿Es una paranoia del juego? Sí.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs
Y
to
tomar la
his
salida de
boss's
la
office.
izquierda. Vale. No, es que... no hay salida. Tú, tío. Esto es una paranoia. Lo vamos a dejar aquí. Es una paranoia de cojones. Es una paranoia. Creo que lo dejamos aquí. O sea, sí. Vale, ¿qué decís? ¿Paramos aquí? ¿Alguna más? Yo creo que podemos parar aquí. Podemos intentar jugarlo otro día más. O no volver a tocarlo nunca más. Os doy esas opciones. Probar una más. Bueno, 4. Y dejarlo ya aquí. Era como lo has hecho. O sea, tú decías por aquí, ¿verdad? Ya, pero este ya lo hemos hecho. Si no me equivoco, ¿verdad? Pinche juego lioso. Ya te digo yo que sí. Joder. Adri, ¿por qué no sales nunca ahí en los comentarios? No entiendo. Vale, creo que lo vamos a dejar por aquí. ¿Queréis que lo vuelva a jugar o no? En otro momento. Es mi pregunta. Jugar al mini más tarde. Eso Adri tocará. No, eso en directo no, porque eso tendrá que ser en tu canal. Porque lo que no sabe la gente es el ansia viva de ayer. De cómo quedó el directo. Que nos empezamos a pasar. Adri me dio el coñazo. Venga, vamos a jugar algo. Y acabamos jugando al Dinner City. Con lo cual hay como 4 episodios, ¿sabes? La puerta cerrada decía yo. ¿Qué puerta cerrada dices tú? Está cerrado, Adri. O sea, no puedes tirar por ninguna puerta que está cerrada. No sé si me entiendes. Vamos a dejarlo por aquí. Estoy bugueado. Este juego te calienta la cabeza mucho. Venga, vamos a dejarlo. Sí, porque veo que esto ya está paranoiando. Ya le daremos. Seguramente intentaré una vez más. Y si veo que no de esto, paramos. Porque esto es un coñazo. Regresar al menú. Es que te pone comenzar la partida. Logros. Esto es un logro. Juega Stanley Parable un martes entero. Completas Stanley Parable en menos de 4 minutos y 22 segundos. No incluye los tiempos de carga. No juegues... ¿Qué dices? No juegues a esta... Bueno, a ver, esto yo lo hice en Rayman Rabbids en la Xbox 360 con la Kinect. De que estuviese como 6 meses y al final dejé de jugar como por 2 años o 1 año. Y volví y bueno, me dieron el logro. Pulsa la puerta 435 veces. Hoy se graban los 2 últimos y tienes semana completa de vídeos. Pues sí, Adri. La verdad es que creo que mañana no haré directo y haré vídeos. Mañana tocará vídeo. Vale, lo he dejado por aquí. Sí. Vamos a dejarlo por aquí. Vamos a poner musiquita. Venga, va, os dejo elegir una. Me van a poner copyright, pero ¿qué vamos a hacer? A ver. Venga. Musiquita, decidme. Decirme musiquita, por favor. Venga, va, hombre, chavales. Va, que hay que terminar. Que la cena ya está y hay que tirarse. Pongo yo una, si no. Tomad por culo. O no pongo música y os jodéis. Es broma, hombre. Ya te digo, yo rompo la regla. Conféticos, venga. A darle. Oh, de Mr. Suicide Shit, me encanta este pavo. Con las músicas.
The
Venga, os dejo ya con esto. Ángel, esa la probaremos para el siguiente que haga, ¿vale? Probaré. Si me la recuerdas, la pondré para el siguiente. Por cierto, que vaya bien el resto del día. Sí, yo también me pido a cenar, chavales. Que vaya bien. Y buenas noches.
To change your background, but let's back down so you can see this is a problem I don't want to put myself in front of. That's why I blocked you, cause I'm not the guy you should rely on, spy on, creep on. I don't know, you just ain't that type of hoe. If I don't holler, let me go. I should have said it, but I didn't, and I won't. I'm a ghost. Now you see me, now you don't.
Muchas gracias, Ángel. Que vaya bien.
Every time you hit the phone.
Hasta